Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Storm Spotter for the National Weather Service, Timothy Breault, coming to you with another monsoon update across the area. I wanted to let you know today is August 17th, 2017 at approximately 2:22 a.m. here in the Mesa, Gilbert, Arizona area. Well, a lot to talk about and some really interesting potential weather setups coming up as we start heading pretty much after Saturday across much of the southwestern United States. The current map I got up for you is the GEFS model, valid here at midnight today. And what you're looking at is 84 hours out from now. We're looking at Sunday afternoon across the area, or Sunday late morning across the region. And let's take a look at a couple of things. First and foremost, we are now just now past, one day past the halfway mark of our monsoon season here in the desert southwest of the North American monsoon. Now, for many areas, Arizona, parts of Southern California have seen above average rainfall, especially across southeast Arizona. Around Tucson has had their wettest July on record at 6.80 inches of precipitation. Parts of southern New Mexico have seen slightly above average precipitation, but northwestern New Mexico, such as, or north central, around Albuquerque and stuff, have seen below average rainfall by as much as 2 inches below average on some areas. It's been relatively dry, but that is about to change for you, New Mexico, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Now, I'm getting concerned about New Mexico, especially the southern portions, and this is going to extend in through central New Mexico as well across the area. What you're looking at is upper level winds at about 20,000 feet. And remember how I said mid to late August we were going to start seeing cold fronts or cut off low pressure systems developing off the central and southern California coast. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's exactly what we got going on here. You can currently see here where the arrow's pointing, we have troughiness over central California beginning to develop here, and a relatively strong southwesterly jet coming in through much of the southwest. But we also have a high pressure system over southern Texas that is going to pump monsoon moisture into New Mexico beginning very late Saturday in through Sunday. And this event may last through about Wednesday, perhaps as late as Thursday across New Mexico. Now this monsoon event is particularly going to affect New Mexico and West Texas, okay? So what we're looking here is upper level winds, okay, at about 20,000 feet. And we can see each one of these blue areas, the darker the blue, the stronger the wind shear, okay? When you start getting into greens and yellows, like over New England, that's, we're talking about 90 to 120 mile per hour winds at 20,000 feet. But what we're looking here is about 50 to 60 miles per hour winds, or 60 knots of wind shear across New Mexico. Arizona at this point on Sunday looks to have between 10 and 20 knots of wind shear, with the eastern portions getting the highest amounts of wind shear. Now, because of the orientation of this low pressure system as it develops, I'll show you, we're basically looking at almost like a transition event. Now, we're currently on another break during the monsoon. This is the second break we've seen this season, and it's not unusual beginning of August to the middle of August to start seeing frequent breaks. I mean, we can see as up to 5 or 6 breaks during the entire monsoon season as a whole, and they usually last between 2 to 7 days on average across the year. So let's go a little bit forward in time here, and I'll take you out a couple more hours to 96 hours. I'm going to see how this troughing here in the west is going to deepen and start to move offshore a little bit. Now, some differences in the models. Different models say they bring it as far south as, down here where these arrows are pointing, well off the southern coast of California, and stall it there, then move it back north. Some take it and then retrograde it out west after it moves down here where these arrows are pointing. This arrow is pointing, and then some of them leave it up here over San Francisco or just off the coast of San Francisco and move it to the northeast, and then into Canada after about Wednesday or Thursday time period. Okay, so what we're looking at now is 84 hours out. We're going to go a little bit further here and take you out just a little bit more. and show you what we got going on here. This is for Monday, August 21st, and you can see the troughing is really beginning to take shape here across much of south central California, and the troughing continues to deepen. Look at that jet stream. Now we're talking about 40 to perhaps 50 knots of wind shear on Monday across Arizona, and very strong wind shear across northwestern New Mexico at 60 to 70 knots. Definitely enough for severe supercell thunderstorms. Now, New Mexico, you are going to get some severe thunderstorms out of this event between Sunday and Thursday time period. They should not be or will not be widespread severe thunderstorms. The severe threat, believe it or not, is actually going to be in extreme eastern Arizona, southeastern Arizona, portions of northwest Arizona, and the south central deserts, such as the Phoenix area where I reside, is going to see very isolated amounts of moisture as of right now. Now, just 3 days ago, the models were saying that the heaviest rains were going to fall over central Arizona, but now over the last 6 to 10 model runs, the heaviest rain now appears it's going to be in south central and east central New Mexico right now, along this high pressure ridge circulating clockwise, and with the low forming circulation counterclockwise. The differences in pressure are going to cause a deformation zone to develop, preferably over extreme eastern Arizona and through much of New Mexico. So, New Mexico, what I'm concerned with is that you're going to have a prolonged period of clouds, heavy showers, and embedded thunderstorms. Now, because you're going to be so shrouded in clouds, and the plume of the monsoon is going to be over you guys, you're going to see a persistent many rounds of very heavy flooding rain. Now, we are likely going to issue several days of flash flood watches. There'll be numerous flood warnings across much of central and southern New Mexico. Albuquerque, you could also get in on the act. Albuquerque could see as much as 3 inches of rain in the mountains and around 1 to 2 inches in the lowlands around that area. Parts of southern New Mexico and central New Mexico, I'm worried. We're talking rainfall amounts as up to 6 inches could fall between Sunday and Thursday time period, as the plume is going to be focused largely over your area. Now, Arizona, you're not going to get much moisture whatsoever as it appears right now with the newest model runs. I will keep an eye on the model runs and update you as we get further closer to the event. Right now, we're still about 4, almost 5 days out. Today being Thursday, so we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So more like 3, maybe 4 days out, because it's really going to be Monday that the moisture gets cranked up across all of the Southwest, preferably, again, West Texas, New Mexico. You're the prime targets now. Okay, so let's deepen this a little bit more in time, go out in time a little bit more, and see what we got going on. We're going out 120 hours now. We can see that it is Tuesday, and we're going to see just how deep this trough is across the area. And you can see the orientation of the trough brings the strongest winds, or the strongest wind shear, over west central Arizona at 50 to 60 knots. Now, there will be some mid and high level moisture with a very small amount of low level moisture present. We're going to have a strong moisture boundary across Arizona, like a dry line, so to speak. And again, the monsoon plume is going to be focused over New Mexico. Now, your winds are still pretty fast in New Mexico. You're going to have some possible severe thunderstorms. I will not be surprised if we even issue an isolated tornado warning for parts of New Mexico. Now, supercells are going to be more of a problem over Arizona, okay? Because though they're going to be very isolated in nature, and preferably over extreme eastern Arizona and northern Arizona, you're going to have to watch out for supercell thunderstorms that are going to contain torrential rainfall, dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning, winds in excess of 70 miles an hour, and possibly isolated tornadoes. Also a possibility across especially north central Arizona at this current time. A few severe to supercell thunderstorms could also develop in parts of northwest Arizona and southeast Arizona. Western Arizona around Yuma, likely to stay mostly dry. You may get a few isolated thunderstorms, but they're likely not going to be really on the severe side. Central deserts, I'm going to watch you guys closely around the Phoenix area. We could be seeing numerous severe thunderstorm warnings being posted. I will not be surprised if we even get a tornado warning across the state of Arizona sometime between late Sunday and Wednesday time period. especially with the orientation of where this low pressure is. Now, I'd like to see this off the coast a little bit more. This is inland, so the further inland this is, the moisture plume is going to be shifted well into New Mexico and away from Arizona. Now, Arizona, you're going to get some thunderstorm activity, some of which could be strong severe, and we could see some thunderstorms producing large hail. The thunderstorms over Arizona are going to be traveling out of the south-southwest at about 50 to 60 miles an hour. And the storms in New Mexico moving much slower than that, 10 to 15, tops 25 miles an hour. And you're going to see repeated rounds of heavy rain. You're not going to have much sunshine over a lot of New Mexico. You're going to be seeing a lot of stratiform rainfall with embedded thunderstorms. So your severe threat is relatively low. I don't look for widespread supercell thunderstorms anywhere in New Mexico at this time. The supercell threat and tornado threat, if we're going to see tornadoes, is going to be across, again, southeastern, eastern Arizona, with the central areas also kind of becoming active at times, but not looking at a whole lot of rainfall. So the flooding is not going to be a big concern over Arizona, at least not right now, but we're also going to see a flooding concern, a 3 to 4 day event over New Mexico. So that's concerning me right now. So New Mexico, you haven't seen much rain this monsoon season, but you are about to get drenched across a good portion of, again, southern and central New Mexico. Okay, so we'll go out a little bit further in time right now, and we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Go out to 150 hours now, and we're going to see exactly what's going to happen with this low pressure system. And you can kind of see that by, let's see what day this is. This is Wednesday. And by that time, most of the moisture is going to be wrapping up across much of the area. But again, the winds are still very fast over New Mexico, especially northwestern New Mexico. And winds are still very fast over Arizona, but by this time, we'll start seeing more of a westerly flow developing once again. Again, we're kind of seeing a transition event. Again, it was 64 degrees this morning in parts of Apache Junction here in Arizona. The dew points were in the 20s. It really felt fall-like, beautiful weather across the area. A little early to be seeing that. Typically, we don't see 60s for lows until about mid to late September. Across the area, but here being mid to late August, seeing it already is pretty interesting nonetheless. But you can currently see here the high pressure kind of moves into West Texas, northern Mexico, and that's kind of going to narrow the plume of moisture even more. And the rains will start receding or shutting down after Wednesday time period. There will be some lingering thunderstorms and rainfall in New Mexico, but by Wednesday, the heaviest rains should have ended across the area, according to this model run. So we're also going to look at moisture right now, because I want to show you guys what we're going to be seeing as far in terms of moisture availability and where the monsoon plume is going to set up across the area. So we looked at winds. Now we'll look at precipitation across the area, and we'll go for 24-hour out and see what we got going on. Okay, so let's take a look here what we got, and you can currently see this is Wednesday the 23rd. I want to back it up just a little bit to about 90 hours, which is going to take us, if I can get it to work, it's going to take us back to Sunday, because I want to show you guys where the moisture is going to be on Sunday with the orientation of this developing cutoff low. Okay, so here's Sunday, and this is very concerning. We're looking at very high moisture levels coming in, like I was explaining, to southern and central New Mexico. You can see in Arizona, it's very hit and miss, very isolated in nature. The Sierra Crest also seeing a little bit of rainfall as well. But the moisture plume, because of the orientation of this low, you're going to have a strong monsoonal plume coming up into New Mexico and parts of far west Texas, and it is going to rain a lot across the area. Okay, now not everybody's going to see flooding. It's important to know that, but a lot of people are going to see flash flooding across the area for sure with these rainfall totals. All right, so let's go a little bit further out in time. We'll go just a little bit more, a little bit further out to about Monday, 120 hours out. And this is, this is Tuesday. I want to back up a little bit more to about 108 hours. And we can see Monday where the heaviest rain is going to fall. You can clearly see it is in south central New Mexico. You're going to get slammed, guys. Albuquerque's still going to get some pretty heavy rain. But again, according to this model, it looks like the heaviest rain is going to fall in south